It is time for episode 8, ladies and gentlemen, of the PWBA podcast right here on Bowl TV, and also available wherever you may get your podcast from. Don't forget to certainly subscribe, rate the podcast, and listen. And if you haven't already, I hope you've checked us out, obviously, on Bowl TV. A lot of great stuff and a lot of great content to choose from as we bring you episode 8 today. My name is Emil Williams Jr., and joining me, as always, is my main man, Aaron Smith. Aaron, how are you today?
Doing well, Emil. Doing well. You're having all the excitement over there with getting your grass cut and everything. But other than that, we're having a good old time here in Texas. So looking forward to another edition here of the podcast and another great guest.
Yeah, early apologies, ladies and gentlemen. If you do happen to hear some lawnmowers going on, that is happening right outside. So those are some of the things, obviously, that you do get when you do work from home. And that's the case during our recording today. So without further ado, let us introduce our guest for episode 8. She is a PWBA champion, an historic one, as well as she was part of the champions list on the relaunch of the PWBA Tour in Sacramento, former Junior Team USA member as well. Also a champion at the USBC Women's Championships. Please welcome Elysia Current. And I should say the only other person that I know whose nickname is E besides mine. So, Elysia, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. We're doing well. And of course, considering what everyone has been going through, of course, thus far, first couple podcasts that we have done, we are always curious as to how everyone is spending their time generally indoors. So what's going on with you in regards to how you're handling being indoors and some of the favorite quarantine activities you've come up with?
I'm getting cabin fever. I take my dog for a walk probably 3 or 4 times a day, and she hates me for it, I think. So we do that. I go out running, work out, as long as it's nice out. Luckily, we've had more nice days than bad, I guess, windy and rainy. No snow here though, so I'm happy about that. Doing puzzles, reading, and one that I'm not proud of is scrolling through TikTok way too much. But yeah, those are pretty much my quarantine activities right now, besides working and trying to do that as well.
Now, where are you located nowadays in the United States?
We are in Middletown, Delaware.
Okay, so no snow, huh? In Delaware, really?
No snow. No, we haven't had. I don't think we had any snow, and if it did, it was like a quick flurry, and then it was gone.
Wow.
Within seconds.
Wow.
Within seconds. So I'm happy about that.
We haven't had any. Right. We haven't had any here in Texas either, Emil. So it's just you.
Chicago's not treating me right.
Now, Elysia,
you gotta go a little bit more south there, Emil.
I know.
This is true. It gets warmer down here. It's even muggy. But obviously, Elysia, we've had a few collegiate coaches on the podcast so far, and you were the head coach of Delaware State. So, just obviously with the cancellation of the NCAA season, we just wanted to kind of hear a little bit more about that from your school's perspective, kind of how the team take it, what was kind of the moment when it happened, if you will, just kind of everything involving, being a collegiate coach and having to go through this pandemic.
It was hard on them because, we had a lot happen during the season, but, we were coming out of everything and having a really good second half, I should say. And, once the news hit of just of COVID-19 in general, before the closures started happening, we were all crossing our fingers and hoping that our conference would still go and have our conference championships. We ended up, it was about 4 or 5 days before our conference championships were supposed to start that they were canceled. So our conference, MEAC, it held out with the NCAA as long as it could. And then the same day that NCAA canceled all sporting activities is when ours went too. So the girls were, they're heartbroken about it. They, the seniors felt like it was, taken from them, but at the same time, most realize that they have to, now it's time to prepare themselves for the future of what's next. And, they've all had their time to deal with the pain that they're feeling from it and the upset and everything. But now it's right now, there's nothing that we can do about it. It's out of our control. And I think most of them do understand that. So, I just hope that they're able to take this time and kind of figure out which direction they want to go now, of whether some want to go and bowl, or what they want to do with their professional career in the workforce, or if some are going to grad school. So they're heartbroken, but I think in the long run, this is going to make them better too. Just in general as people.
Indeed, though, there's always the opportunity, especially in college, where some type of life lesson will generally kind of pop up or adhere itself to you, and I think this is certainly one of those. Which, and obviously the most unexpected way in that regard. How did you handle it, just as the coach at this point? I mean, did you get the news first? I know some other teams kind of just heard it, obviously, because of the way the news kind of makes its way around these days. But how did you guys get the news, and then how did you disperse it?
I got the news through email. I was constantly checking my email every day, all day during that time. And then most of the girls, they were on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever they could find any information that was possibly leading up to it. But I got the news first, and just it sucked to just relay that through like a group meet chat that we have with the team. And like, girls, I'm sorry, but the MEAC, I think they did what they had to do in order for all of us to stay safe and healthy and not put any of us at risk. So, they did understand that, but that's kind of how it came about, just right through email. We had a couple teams in the MEAC just throughout that week, I guess, before we canceled anything, they were dropping out of the MEAC Championships, the ones that made it. So, and that was just for the university's rules that they had. So it was tough to see them keep going and going and going. And then, I think we had like 4 or 5 teams left, and then they finally canceled it. But yeah, it was all through email.
Yeah, that's certainly a call, a text, email that you definitely don't want to deliver to, especially, so many student athletes who worked so hard. This was your second stint with Delaware State. You had also coached the team earlier in the 2010s, and then took the job again. Tell us a little bit about your journey to once again be leading the Hornets.
I don't know if it's much of a journey per se, but the previous coach left halfway through the year into when was that, 2019. So I saw that it opened up and just thought I'd take a chance at it and see what happens, because I did want to get back into coaching, and whether it be at Del State or somewhere else, trying at other places. But I was glad that they decided to have me back, and believed in what I could build the program back up to where I left it before, back in 2016. So that's my journey right now, and writing those next chapters of building a program back up and getting us back on the map again.
For sure. And it kind of worked out interesting that a few players that you had worked to recruit to Delaware State ended up being seniors this particular season. So what was it like to kind of come back into their lives, be their coach again, and just kind of see the progress they had made as not only student athletes, but as young folks too?
It was it was fun to see. It was fun to be back with them, and finally getting to work with them for what I wanted to do first off in 2016. But it. Sorry, I thought my dog was about to bark. Uh, but working with them and just seeing how far they've come as a person and their growth in general. Talking with them from versus 2016 to now, and just seeing how far they've come and what more they wanted to do then too. So it was just a lot of fun to be able to be with them again and see where the season could take us. And unfortunately, like we talked about before, it was ripped away from us there a little bit. So I feel like we didn't really get to see everything that the team worked hard for. But I am glad that we were able to work together with those seniors and spend some time with them, and not only just have the player coach relationship, but in the long run end up being friends afterwards and still having that connection with them, and being able to talk to them where they needed, and put the friend cap on instead of the coach cap. So it was fun. It was a good time, and I hope that they do everything that they possibly can and want to do in the future with whatever direction they go.
What are some of the similarities and differences from the second time, or I should say from this moment in regards to being the coach as opposed to when you first took the job? And the difference is obviously, eliminating the COVID portion of things.
The differences, I would probably have to say the differences were, maybe some philosophies that the student athletes had or have, and trying to not tell them that it's wrong, but to maybe open their eyes to see something else in a different light way. And that was at first, and that comes with building a program again, and getting those student athletes into your program that you want in there, and want to portray everything that we stand for, and our mission, and just representing us. But I think that was really the only real difference. But then on campus, a lot has changed. Our whole athletics in the past, before I came on, the year and a half before that, everything was changing. A new AD came in. He was, seeing everything that's happened, what's going on, what coaches are doing, what teams are doing, what programs need help, where everybody kind of stood, and he kind of wiped clean, and except for maybe a handful of coaches, and he's starting fresh. And I think it was a good thing, because it was just a completely different feel on campus when I first walked on about a year ago today, and there was a completely different atmosphere on that campus, and it definitely won for the better. And I'm just glad that I'm able to be here again and see all that come into play, and where we're going.
Nicely done. So second stint, of course, but I got to go back to the 2016 MEAC Championship, which, from some of the things I read, and I think you just had a post on social just this week about some of kind of your key or top moments in the sport, and the MEAC certainly was one. Where does that victory kind of rank amongst your lifetime victories as a coach, and certainly as a player at this point?
That is one that I keep near and dear to my heart. I can tell you that. It is definitely one of my top 4 moments, because I saw those athletes and those student athletes. I saw the determination that they had that whole year, and that was our goal at the end of the year, to win our MEAC championship, and what they put aside all their differences and had one common goal at the end. And that was, we're going to win. It doesn't matter what we do off the lanes, but on these lanes, we're one. And, they did it right. They made sure that, they weren't going to disappoint anybody on the team. And it was just a lot of fun to see the work that they did on and off the lanes, and workouts and practices and mental game and just everything that we were working with, that, they trusted it. They trusted everything that we were doing. They trusted one another. They believed in one another. And I mean, all those girls, they hold a special place in my heart, because that was just that. I don't know. I try not to compare things to that time, but it wasn't simple, but it wasn't too hard. Which everything kind of clicked together, and we were all on that same path. And it was, like I said, it was just so much fun and just so much excitement to see that and know that they had it wrapped up, eighth frame of the last game. And, we even made a lineup change in that game, and people were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I was like, just trust us. And all the girls trusted it, and they were like, let's go. And they did it. And it was awesome. I mean, I still talk to all those girls to this day, and all of them are always posting about it and how much they loved that year and that moment in time. And it's one I know that they hold up there at one of their highest moments too. So it was just a lot of fun.
Now, you described a lot of the reasons why it's so great to put the time and effort into coaching. But, for you personally, what was kind of your passion to get involved on the coaching side, and, specifically for the collegiate?
I think coaching just in general, when I was a junior bowler, I think I've talked about this before, but when I was a junior bowler, I coached bumpers, and that was my way of getting free bowling for the week. So, that's kind of what it started as. And then I gradually, I helped the bumpers, and then it started helping the next level. And then once I was in high school, and then my nephews and my niece started to bowl, now I had them, and I was helping them, and everything just started to snowball. And then once I got to Wichita, basically working with Coach B and Coach L, two of the best, I don't know. It's just, when I was there, I helped with one of the camps, and that was a lot of fun. And it made me realize, like, oh, maybe I want to coach someday. Maybe that's what I want to do. I'm not really sure what I want to do yet, but there was no bowling for the women's tour at all. We only had our couple tournaments that we had. So, the day after I graduated, the day I graduated, I actually drove up to Wisconsin, I think it was, for the singles championships, and drove back home with my mom. And my dad had all my stuff already back. And that after about a year, not even a year at home, I started coaching in high school at my old high school that I graduated, and put in 3.5, 4 years into there. And then my former teammate at Wichita State, Ricky Ellison, she was the coach at Delaware State, and she ended up going back to Wichita. And it was funny. We were just talking about this last night. That she texted me one day, and she was like, "Hey, you want to coach?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, the job at Del State's going to be open. And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Sure." And she's like, "All right, I'll put your name in." And I said, all right, cool. And then I got the job then. So I was like, all right, well, and that's kind of how it all started. And then now I'm back here again. But my passion, though, for it, I guess, would have to be all the coaches, the best coaches I had growing up, not just my parents, but my brothers were always there for me. They always supported me, my sister, and my whole family has always supported me in everything that I've done. And, I had 2 or 3 really good coaches growing up, junior bowling, Glenn Montgomery and Mike Klauser. Both have passed away since then, but they really instilled like a lot of great philosophies and everything just about bowling. Like they kind of ignited that fire and really pushed me to be where I'm at now, and not just as a bowler, but as a coach and in the bowling industry, and having a variety of things that I'm allowed to do, which makes it even more fun because I get to see all different sides of our industry now. And it all started there, and going to Wichita State, it kind of just sealed the deal there. So I think that's kind of the path that I was on.
Very, very cool. And of course, that kind of leads into our next question. Not only a great collegiate coach, but you were a standout on the lanes. And I'll throw it to Emil for a quick second, because this was kind of the same time you were out on the lanes for Lindenwood. So, Emil, for you, what was the buzz on Elysia Current kind of during those mid 2000s? What were you hearing as far as this talented young lady?
Yeah, I was trying to remember in my head what year you graduated. What was it? 07, 08?
08. I had to sit out a year, so right. I had to go back 1 year.
Well, I just remember she won. I think she won Rookie of the Year, but I don't think she was at Wichita State at the time, or yet, I should say. And I was like,
no.
It was at that point to where, I was like, oh, okay, who is this person? Because we didn't really see her a lot, or her team at that time. And then obviously, then we get to see her at Wichita State, multi-time All-American across all 4 years, both at FDU and including Wichita State, and a couple of national titles. So you could see the things were there. Obviously, we knew she was talented. We just hadn't seen her. And then we got a chance to see her. And then I was very happy that, I wasn't on the women's team who had to then face Elysia Current multiple times out of the year. So, yeah, I mean, what were your favorite parts about your collegiate experience across the board? And obviously, you just talked about the kind of the coaching aspect and how that developed for you. So, what were some of the other things that you loved?
I would have to say all of our memories, not just on the lanes, but off the lanes, and just the stupid stuff that we did and the fun times. I mean, we talked about it last night during our little Zoom reunion that we had, and just bringing up all those memories of how much fun we actually had as a team, and how much of a family we really became thanks to our coaches, allowing that environment and that atmosphere to be at that program and not be at one another's throats, competing for a spot at one of the best, bowling programs in the country. So they really helped with that. And, everything that we did, it was always together. And we, it was, I don't know, it was so much fun just going back and seeing all the times that we, it didn't matter if we won or lost. But I just remember one time we were talking about to a bowling center when we walked in. We always walked in with so much confidence, and we were like, let's just go wreck some stuff. Like, let's go. Let's do what we've been preparing to do all week. And that was kind of like what we did. And I have a shirt that actually says, it's not that we're, what does it say? It's from Wichita State, actually. And I think it like nails it. But it's not that we're mean, we're just better than you, or something like that, something along the lines. And I was just like, yep, that was kind of our mentality. I know it kind of sounds conceited, but we were very confident, and we knew what we had at our hands, and we knew what we could do, and we just made sure that we, every tournament we treated it like I was our last. And that was it was so much fun to do that with such a great group of girls, and the guys just as equally on the guys side having success too. And all of us just kind of became a big family. And all those relationships that I have there are still friendships I have till this day. And that's something that some people can't say that they have. And I'm just very grateful that I have that have that lasting relationship with all of them and all those memories that we'll never forget. So, I mean, when I say like there's so many and there's just so many stupid things that we did, and I'm sure the coaches know everything that we did and they're laughing at it too now because they're, you know, we got the job done. That was the deal. So it was just a lot of fun off the lanes, and but that's what I remember most. Not just the tournaments, what we left, what we did at tournaments, what did I leave in the ninth frame of this game or anything like that. It was just always the memories of off the lanes too, and everything that added up to where we got to.
I can't hate at all, by the way, on the shirt, because that's definitely a shirt I would have certainly worn. And honestly, we felt the same way at Lindenwood. Like, it was
right.
We're showing up, and y'all don't have a chance. Obviously there were some teams who technically did have a chance, like Wichita State, for example. But you understand obviously where we're coming from, and it's not a cockiness. It definitely was a confidence thing for sure.
Yeah, for sure. There's some times where I just wish like they should just go back to that mentality you had before. But people grow, people change, and things happen. But it was just it was fun. Like everything about my 2 years there was amazing.
I mean, you won a title. When you win a title, like at least for us, for sure, that there was a lot of we walked around maybe like our bleep didn't stink kind of thing, right? You've heard that expression before. So, was it warranted? But was it fun? Absolutely, like 100%. And we won a lot after that. So it was like when you have it, you have it, and it's fun to hear, honestly, from someone else and kind of experience and have that same mentality.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I just start laughing in my head now, just thinking about the stuff. But yeah.
So you mentioned the Zoom call you had, shocker reunion, and also had to get back to the random, just straight text from Ricky, which is hilarious. Hey, you want to be a coach? Like, yeah, I'm sure. Like so. How was the call? Who was on the call, if you don't mind sharing? And what was it like? Just obviously, you said catching up with individuals that have been friends of yours for a long time. Obviously, life happens, and but you always find a way to kind of connect.
All right. So we had myself, Emily Fagan, Ashley Perkey, Felicia Wong, Ricky Ellison, and Melissa Peters. And we were all on the team together, the winning team together. And we were just in a group chat, and we're like, let's just have a Zoom call. Like, let's catch up. And we're like, all right, what works best? And the ones that have kids, they were like, well, I can't do this early. I got to do this late. And so kind of just had a late night session. And I mean, the picture I posted, no one knew I was taking it. And we were all just smiling and laughing the whole time, and just such great spirits the whole time. And, catching up of, what we're doing, how's everyone's jobs, just everything like that. And just wanting to feel like how we did, some years ago now.
Right.
And, just, I don't know. It was much needed, I think, for all of us to just have a happy moment, for, an hour and a half that we had of no matter what was going on, we were all kind of just there together. And it was exciting to see everything that they're doing, new things that are happening, even bouncing ideas off one another, and making sure that we were all okay. And that was the main thing. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. And I know, just want to give a shout out to Melissa. I know she's going through some things and in a serious battle. And so I've been following along and know Melissa for a bit, even slightly before her days at Wichita State. Obviously, I know Jake as well. So just want to send some prayers up for her and let her know that we're always thinking about her as well.
yeah, so it was so good to see a smile on her face. And we saw her mom and Jake last night too on the call. So
Awesome.
so that was good. And her parents were always open arms to us when we were at Wichita State. Thanksgiving dinners at their house with the whole family. So and the whole team. So, just great all around bowl. And I hope the best for Melissa. And I hope that I know that she'll beat this, and there's no one stronger. It really
Indeed.
isn't.
Now, Elysia, you kind of talked a little bit earlier. Obviously, the collegiate career kind of wrapping up around 2008, and for the top female players, there was only so many events to bowl on the professional level, essentially. So, kind of that late 2014, early 2015, when the news came around that the PWBA was coming back. Just what were your initial reactions to hearing that, the excitement, just kind of what was, even if you remember where you were at when you heard it the first time, just what were those moments kind of like, knowing that something, you probably would have been contending for titles back in, 2009, 2010, 5-6 years down the road. What was it like to kind of know you're going to have this opportunity?
I believe I was talking or texting with Lindsay Boomershine, and we were just kind of like, is this going to happen? Like, we've waited so long for this. What are we going to do? Like, if this does happen, like, what are our plans? And the time that it was released, I like screenshotted the schedule, and I know she was screenshotting at the same time, and we sent it to each other, and we were like, oh, okay, we're both on the same page. Like, all right, what are we doing? And just, I was excited. Everything that I wanted to do was now, was put on hold, and now I was actually able to go out and do that. So I was like, if I'm doing this, I'm going full force, and, this is what we're going to do, and this is what I want to do. So, she was the planner, and she was like, all right, I'll pick you up here, you fly in, and we'll do this, and then, vice versa the second half. I drove the second half of it on the Midwest Northeast part. And, we were out there week after week, and we were working between the stops too. So, we made sure we did it right. So that way we didn't have too much to worry about, but we made it fun. We made it definitely an experience for ourselves. And we were just super excited to be able to finally get out there and compete, because I think our generation of bowlers was so strong. And I think we lost a few because of, not having a women's tour to go right to. And, that sucks, but, everyone makes choices, and we stayed with it. And I think it's been paying off. And I don't know, I'm just excited to always get out there and bowl and see everybody and see new places and meet all the supporters and our fans and everything like that. And, just make bowling better. And, whether or not we have a tour this year, whatever they do, it's their call. But I know I'll be out there and, doing as many stops as I possibly can.
We had a question regarding Lindsay for a little later, but you mentioned her, so I'm going to just ask you now. And so there's really two questions. One, like, how far does your relationship with Lindsay really go back? Because obviously we see you both on tour. We know you guys travel together, room together, etc. But that was 2014, late 2014. Obviously, you guys had known each other. So how far does your relationship go back? And then give us perhaps a fun and appropriate travel story with Lindsay.
Ooh, story. I don't. We have a lot of stories. There's always story time in our hotel room. I can tell you that. She's probably laughing as soon as she sees this, but oh my gosh. Well, she's originally from Buffalo, New York, and I'm from Pennsylvania, so we're not too far away. So I know during junior tournaments, I probably saw her, and I always remembered her dad, and her dad always said hi to me everywhere we went. But I didn't really know Lindsay that well, but her dad always made sure he said hi to me, and I was like, who is this guy? Like, who is he? I don't even know who he is. But always said hi, always, made sure that you know, got that done at every tournament. And then I think in college, I think at Fairleigh Dickinson, our coach was trying to recruit her at the same time. So that kind of brought her name back into my mind and life or whatever. And then I don't know, one day we just, I don't know, like our teams were rivals in a way at FD in Nebraska. So I think it's kind of maybe when the friendship started. I feel like some people didn't get along with other girls from other. I was always like, oh, hey, like, you know, and I always tried to, you know, make friends with other people just because, you know, that's just what I wanted to do. And even though I was quiet, I still, you know, made sure that I started to say hi to her, and, you know, we would laugh and I would talk to her and a couple of the other girls on her team. And I don't know. And then just one day, this is where well, I don't know if it's a tour story, but just one day she showed up at my house in Wichita, and she knocks right on my bedroom door, and I was like, I'm studying for finals, and she just comes in, and I was like, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, well, we were invited down. And I was like, okay, like, I have no idea why you're here, but I'm trying to be a good student right now and study for finals, and I need to do this. And she's like, okay. She's like, well, we'll be downstairs. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, all right, I'll see you down there then. But like, I think that probably like sealed the deal right there. She just showed up in my house, and since then, that's our first story. And it's always funny to think about. And, I mean, we have a lot of stories tour wise, there was one time where we had to go get gas and get food after a stop at Fountain Valley in California, and I was like, I just want to get back to the hotel. I just want to eat my food and be done. And she's like, all right. She's like, well, let's stop, get gas. We'll go over here, grab food and go. And I was like, all right. So she's like, I'll run in. So I drop her off, and she goes into the store, and then I ended up parking next to the convenience store before she came out. And there was a car that looked kind of similar to ours, and she just hopped in that car. Just going off about something. And I see it all from afar. And she's going off about something, and I see her arms going, and then she looks at the driver, and she was like, you're not Elysia. And she hops out, and she's like in panic mode trying to find out where we were. And I was dying. I mean, I had tears coming down my eyes. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. And I was like, I can't believe it either. But that was a story. So there's a lot of crazy things that happen. And just, you know, late nights out on tour with those long days, there's bound to have, I'm sure there's other crazy stories and probably a lot of inappropriate stories that people can talk about one day. But yeah, I mean, that was just one, and I always laugh, always make sure know what car we're in, and she always laughs about that. But yeah, the first time we actually ever bowled together was 2012 at USBC Women's Championships, and that was the same year that we won. And never bowled together, nothing. She was like, hey, you want to bowl with me? I was like, yep, sure. Well, let's do this. So, you know, I'm out at Reno, but my mom was with me. And the night before, we were at the hotel walking around, my mom and I, and like there's a big crowd and a big scene at the escalators. And I was like, oh, I wonder what happened. Like, that's so bad. Like, there's ambulance there. Like, people are going crazy about something that happened. And I was just like, oh, that sucks. And I hear through the grapevine, like, oh, somebody like fell down the escalator. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I hope they're okay, blah, blah, blah. Walk into the stadium, and Lindsay doesn't tell me where she's at. So I walk up right to registration, and there she is. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, did you hear about the person that fell down the escalator last night? And she turns, and she's got stitches in her left eye, stitches in her hand, stitches in her knee, and it was her that fell.
Wow.
She was pushed down the escalator by a crowd of people, and I was just like, oh my God, Lindsay. And she's like, I'm fine, like I'll be okay. And I was like, okay, like let's do this. All right. And I mean, she ended up going lights out that week, but and we ended up winning. So that's another story. We have a lot of crazy things happen, and we make the best of it. And that's just kind of what we do.
That's incredible. Yeah. That's incredible.
I mean, I was there covering.
I don't know how many people know that story.
You guys didn't tell me that in 2012 afterwards.
I don't even know what it was. No, we did not. She was probably a little embarrassed.
Left that out. No, that's no, I mean that makes the story even crazier. But yeah, Lindsay was.
It does.
She shot big 2,200 that year. I mean, yeah, she was just absolutely lights out. Won all events too. Yeah, she put on an absolute show, and then obviously the doubles for both of you too was a pretty cool. I feel that was really my first introduction to both of you, and just seeing you guys strike that much was very, very impressive. Something I definitely a very memorable moment. Then you guys came back next year, and two of your teammates took the doubles lead and ended up winning. So you guys got a little conglomerate going on there. So over at the WC.
It's been fun. We have a good group of girls, so we're hoping to get back out there this year too, if it allows us to, and see what we can do. But yeah.
Now, another big memory, obviously, the first stop in 2015, the PWBA Storm Sacramento Open. The first week, the anticipation of it finally happening, the tours there. They had the Queens earlier in the season, but a few months had passed. Just talk about your excitement level. Obviously, we know how that event ended, but what was the excitement going into that very event? First time lacing up, the crowd there. All the competitors, just what was the environment like being in there, and looking back on it a few years later, could you have imagined winning the very first PWBA event after 12, 13 years off?
No, I could not imagine. Actually, story for that was we were in the back room at the stadium. And everybody was like, oh, did you sign up for the first tour stop? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, I didn't yet. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. Like, with coaching, I'm just not sure, like, if I'm going to be able to get there. And because we had ITCs then too. So I wasn't sure if we were qualified yet. Or I forget how it went about. And they're like, all right. So, I'm sitting there and or no, sorry, that was July. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a Queens tournament. I'm sorry. But we're in the back. Either way, we're in the back, and people are like, did you sign up? Nope, I didn't sign up yet. And I remember somebody sitting next to me. And so we get on our phones and we're signing up for the tournament, and they just had opened up more spots. And I was like, oh, thank God. So I click submit, like to register. I get the, confirmation, person sitting next to me, it's full. And we did it at the exact same time.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay. I was like, all right.
Well, lesson
learned, sign up for tournaments ahead of time. But yeah. So, I mean, I wasn't even supposed to bowl really. Like, it was just, I kind of, thank God that they opened up more spots, and that's what they wanted to do. So, but yeah, getting there and, everybody kind of being there. And I was like, all right, well, let's just see what it's about. Let's have some fun. Let's, bowl as best as you can. You've been preparing yourself for this. So just go out, let's get a taste of what it's about. And, we'll go from there for the rest of the summer. And I ended up bowling good enough to get to the cut. And then I think there was a sweeper before the night before, I think. And, we had practice session that night, and then I did the sweeper. And then Lindsay was supposed to get in, and she didn't end up getting in until about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning because her flights kept getting delayed and canceled. So she missed our Thursday night practice session. So then she came in. We were staying at a friend's house. She came home from the airport, and then we got up the next morning, practiced, went and got breakfast, came back, and we were bowling. And I mean, that whole weekend, I bowled every game, every possible game, every practice session full out except for one. So, so I got my money's worth that weekend, that's for sure. But I mean, my hand was so swollen, and I was like, I slept with my hand in the ice and a bag of ice each night just to try to get the swelling to go down. Woke up in cold water every night, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this week after week. Like, I need to figure something out here. And I could barely fit my hand in the ball. I was like, oh no. I was like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And then match play started, and I think April Ellis I bowled against, and I think she shot 300 against me. I'm not really sure, but I was like, this is how this day is gonna go. All right, like, cool. And I don't know, something clicked, and I talked to Jim Callahan, one of our tour reps at the time for the women's tour, and something just clicked, and I kind of lost sight of everybody else and just kind of went in my own little world and made a run for it. And that was pretty much it. I had Lindsay was the alternate that week, so she was doing the scores for us, and she was behind every step of the way, like, all right, what do you see? What do you think you gotta do? What about this? What about that? And it was helpful that, you know, I had a lot of support behind me at the same time, but it was quite the experience that I went through. And then I don't know, the time of the show kept getting pushed back a little bit because so many people were in there, and they had to keep redoing, I guess, where the signage was and everything. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Like, all right, let's do this. And just made sure I threw it as well as I could and hit my mark, and it all ended up for the best then after that. And we know the ending, so that was fun, and I hope that I'm able to do that again sometime soon, because it's been frustrating since then. So but we'll see what happens.
Big shout out to Steve Cook's Fireside Lanes. I've never been there, but I was actually looking at the video from that prior to this, and yeah, when they went to some of the fan shots, I mean, the place was just absolutely packed. But you know, in the title match, you got ahead against Christina Wendell, so that's a name we haven't heard in a couple of years, but hopefully Christina's doing well too. But you know, you got to step up in the 10th and basically got the you basically had it locked up already. What was kind of that moment like, knowing that, you know, I'm here, I'm winning this title, I'm the first titleist, you know, since the return to the PWBA?
Yeah, like I wasn't looking at the scores too much. I had a knot in my left leg that I was trying to get out of my leg the whole stepladder final,
like
and
a horse
would rub my leg the whole time, and then I don't know. I just think from being on my feet the whole weekend, and you know, probably not drinking enough water that weekend or anything like that, and it was hot in there, so many people. But anyway, so I'm like trying to rub out this knot in my leg the whole stepladder final, and I look over at Jim, and I haven't looked at the scores at all, and he was like, "Just breathe," and I'm like, "Okay," and that, I think I kind of like took a glance at the score, like, "Okay, all right," and he's like, "Just know that." He kind of said something along the lines of, you know, make this 10th frame memorable for you, and make sure you turn around and see everybody, and, you know, take all that in. Don't walk backwards. Like, just take it all in right now for what it is. And I said, okay. So it just kind of, I don't talk a lot, but, you know, it left me speechless completely, and I had no idea what to do. And I was like, all right, you did that. And, you know, through the last three, and it just, Lindsay was crying, so I was like, stop crying, you're gonna make me cry. And then, you know, it was just fun it was just so much going on, I didn't know what to do. And then I actually had to catch a flight to Junior Gold to start recruiting then the day after. So yeah, there was that.
Wow. So you were the obviously prior to the relaunch, You made the show at the 2011 Queens, and you finished second there. So I'm curious, even though there was a 4-year gap in between, obviously, did that Queens experience kind of help you at all when you look back on it and what you were able to accomplish in 2015?
I think it did. In the back of my head, the Queens was live on ESPN and a much bigger setting.
Sure.
So that was kind of weird and just going back there, a couple weeks before that, I lost my grandmother. So I was just kind of like, whatever, I'm going to bowl and whatever happens at, 2000 at the Queens in 2011. And after each round, I was like, oh, I didn't make the cut. Start packing up, start walking out. Oh, nope, you made the cut. All right, cool. Bowl the next round. I didn't bowl too high. I was like, there's no way I'm making a top 64. There's absolutely no way. So I just blew that. Start packing my stuff up, get a call from one of my friends, and they're like, you made the cut. And I was like, where are you seeing this at? And they're like, they posted it online. And I was like, all right, put my stuff back. And, I came out, bowled the first match, and then I actually ended up getting a bye the second match at 2011 Queens. Somebody got hurt, and that was, I don't know. I took advantage of it, that's for sure, and won the rest of my matches and somehow got on the show, and that was just a lot of fun. But definitely going back to that experience there, definitely, I think it definitely helped something like in the back of my mind, just, like, all right, let's finish it this time. You're the number one seed there. Like, you're not here now, so you got a little bit of work to do. So let's finish it, just bowl and see what happens. And, I was just proud of myself either way for how far I fought to get there, kind of similarity of it. And, I'm happy for the win and the title. And, that was one of my dreams. And, another one of my goals is now, more than one at least. So hopefully I can do that.
Well, we do like where you have the trophy strategically placed right now, so looks
That's
good in
right.
shot. So, but
Yeah.
but yeah, one of the things I'll always take back from that event, just as a fan of bowling, was the trophy shot afterwards, and you had the big banner with the tour is back. So I think that's definitely one of the most iconic photos since the relaunch, and might be for a long time as well. So that was I feel that's always one of the when we look at kind of how everything has evolved over the tour over the past few years, it all started with that moment and that photo and that sign, the tour is back.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about Steve Cook's, like, not just because I won there, but he always puts on a good event, and his venue, he always makes sure everything is there for us, and it's all about the players right there. And I love Sacramento and Steve Cook's Fireside Lanes, but I always go back and kind of compare, like, all right, what are some other proprietors doing versus what he did for us? And he does so much, and I'm just happy that we're able to be out there, and other proprietors, everything that they do for us. I'm not saying that it's not as good or anything like that, but just knowing what type of venue he puts out for us is just always good, and you just always feel like you're at home at your own home center there. And I think that's what makes it comfortable there, and why so many people show up at his venue. So I'm hoping we can get back there. I know we were supposed to go back there this year, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
I agree. I've been there a couple times for a couple stops, obviously after 2015, and I would echo definitely those same sentiments. And I would also ask you this: outside of winning, obviously on tour, give us a few or a couple of your favorite PWBA stories, if you have any. They could involve travel. We already talked about that.
Travel wise, PWBA. Oh, they're making me think, and I can't, like, if I just have a conversation like with Lindsay or anybody, I'd be like, oh yeah, do you remember this? Oh my goodness. What? I do remember we drove to Wichita from Utah
Wow.
the 1 year, and yeah, we went straight through. She drove half of it, and I drove half of it, and that was a long drive, and we ended up getting to wherever we were staying at Wichita, and the place ended up giving us the wrong room, and there was only one bed, and I was like, I can't do this. I was like, it's 2:00 in the morning to bowl tomorrow. I was like, it was like one small bed, and she's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, let's just book somewhere else. Like, let's get out of here. So we were able to, we lucky enough to do that, but that is not what you want to go through after I mean, I don't even know how many miles we drove, because it was definitely over 1,000 from Utah to Wichita. And we did that. And then, I don't know. I don't know what other stories, but we have so many that I just don't even think about. We did have a scare again in Wichita of all places. So I was there by myself. They all went to the zoo with Aiden and Lindsay went, and Christy Leong was staying with us too, and they took Chloe, and somebody knocked on the door, and it was, they had a hat on and everything, and I was by myself, half asleep, because they left early, and I was just like, what is going on right now? And I looked, and I was like, nope, I'm not letting this guy in. And he came back a half hour later, pounding on the door, and I was like, we are in an Airbnb right now. I don't know anything about this person. So I got scared, and I called them, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know. This guy keeps coming back. I think he's going to go in the backyard. I had everything locked, and I was just terrified. And they ended up coming back, and we called the police, and the police came out and everything. But I felt like, I don't know, that was a scary moment. That was the only scary moment we ever had. But then that night we did s'mores, and we had a lot of fun. We had no idea how to light a campfire, and we figured it out and didn't kill ourselves or set anybody on fire. So that was
wow.
And
That's crazy.
That's
wild.
I don't know. A lot of things happen in Wichita. Yeah.
Wichita's a good city, though, by the way.
No, there's so many
Yes.
that it is. No, it is. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not trying to talk bad about Wichita. I love Wichita.
It's coincidental.
Yeah. What was that? You broke up a little bit.
No, I'm just saying it's coincidental that, a lot of those things just happen to happen in that city.
Yeah, there's so many.
Well,
so many things, yeah. But
how about
we have a lot of memories, and it's just, I don't know.
How about Junior Team USA? And I mentioned that because that was another one that I saw in regards to your social posts, and I know that has some meaning to you. So just briefly, kind of talk about why that's important and important part of your journey as a player.
The teammates that I had those 2 years, again, still with them, some of my best friends, and I don't know. I just, looking back at like those memories too, and that we were able to actually train at the USOC before that was, not taken away, but moved down to Texas. So that was fun, and seeing the other actual Olympians there practicing and doing everything. Michael Phelps was there. Apollo Ono was there while we were there the one time, and but just taking all that in for what it was, and everything that we got to do there, and I was on the team. We went down to Dominican, got a couple medals down there, so that was fun with the team that we had. On the beach all day if we weren't bowling, and getting yelled at by Mama Pat all the time, especially the boys. But it was, those 2 years was just I don't know, all my good memories are just always fun and just always like with good people and people who are still helping the sport grow, which is pretty cool to see of how far that we have come in this in our choice of sport, and the same passion that we all have for it. Steph Johnson, Sean Ryan, PJ Haggerty, Josie Barnes, just name a few there that we had on the team with us during those years, and it's a lot of good memories that we have and things that we got to do and learn about one another and still laugh about these till this day of things. But it did help me because I wanted more after that, and felt to myself like I'm not done. Like I want to do more now. That my 2 years into Wichita State then. So things always happen for a reason. From when I left FDU to go to Wichita, and that's just the path that I was put on, and I don't think I would change it to this day. I really don't.
Now, Elysia, you mentioned your time on Junior Team USA, and one of our coworkers happened to be on Junior Team USA in 2006 as well. So feel free to use this opportunity. If you have any great, embarrassing Daniel Farish stories, please feel free to tell them now. And the best answer would be, who is that? But yeah, if you got any cool memories from Daniel, we can razz him about.
I don't think I do have any with him, in all honesty.
I wouldn't want to hang out with him either. So.
No. No, it's not that. I just, I don't know. I don't have any.
That's okay. We'll let Daniel off the hook this time.
Sorry, Daniel.
I was really looking forward to that too. So I was like, oh, this would be fantastic if she has something. But from a memory making perspective, though, you're going to make your own memories pretty soon, right? You're engaged, and I assume that you're still in the maybe the wedding planning stage. So how's all that going? You guys got a date picked out and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm not much of a planner. If you ask Lindsay that, she'll tell you that too, because she plans everything that we do, and she just says, fly here and I'll meet you. So I have ideas, but with everything going on, I don't know what we're going to be doing. So I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. I don't want anything big or elaborate or anything like that. But I have a feeling we'll probably end up doing like a destination type thing, and anybody that wants to come, show up type deal, and have a good weekend of it, and kind of just go from there and see what we do. I don't know. I don't know. Travis is just he's like me too. Like, just tell me where I gotta be. So I think that's like every guy. But I said, all right. So this is a little tough for me because I am not. I'm not a planner. It's hard for me to plan, especially stuff for myself. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Well, I think you got the right idea just in the regard, the destination portion generally kind of takes a lot of it off the plate. And so that just sounds like the best deal either way, because then you get to go to some really cool place and do your thing, and, probably, sip some cool drinks by the water and whatnot.
Exactly. It'll just be a fun time. So, and I don't want to tell people like, oh, you can't come, or no, I want you there, or, if you don't get invited, not, to be heard about it. So kind of just want something that'll just be open for anybody to show up and have some fun.
Well, take it from personal experience. Yes, that is a very tough thing when you have to decline or not tell people or not invite folks for how many people you plan to have or all that kind of stuff. So yes, just have fun, do what you guys want to do, and enjoy it. I know your family will be there. And speaking of family, before we get into our final question, I know you talk a lot about your niece and your nephews. We've had some combos. I know I feel like they're always playing sports, and you're supporting. Just how important have they been, family in general, to your success? And then I know they've got a cool nickname for you too. I don't know if they still have it for you, but I believe is Shoop. Shoop de doop.
Yep. Yep. Um, yes. So that started in fourth grade. I started that myself for softball, as you know. But yeah, my niece and nephews. I got one nephew. He's in the Navy for I think he's going on his third year now. So he's doing his thing. He wants to see the world, and that's the way he wants to do it. So I'm super proud of him, and I'm always excited whenever I get to see him. Um, and his name's Justin. And then my niece, she's the only niece, so she's my favorite niece. Funny, she just texted me as you were bringing it up. She she's done with her first year of college this year, so it's exciting to see her go through that and everything that she wants to do. She wants to be a teacher, so she's working hard towards that, and um, she sends me stupid videos of TikToks all the time, of her own TikToks, and she just is always making me laugh. So she's always there. She's the one that she's like, okay, where are you going next? What are you doing? Like, what's happening? Are you okay? You got this. She's very, very energetic about it, and she's always has been, and she's always been kind of that one there. So we always have the joke that I'm her favorite aunt, even though she has many aunts, but she is my favorite niece. So we get along like sisters, basically. So it's good. And then I have four nephews right behind her who three of them are in high school together right now, and they all play baseball, and they're amazing baseball players, and two of them bowl. Tyrus and Tristan. They're the two bowlers. They're brothers, and um, I text Tyrus a little bit here and there and ask him how he's doing, especially being a senior in high school. And he made it to the high school states, and it was his first time making to high school states, and they canceled that the day before it was supposed to happen. So he unfortunately didn't get to go to states, and he throws it so good that I was just like, he's on a different world right now, and he could do something. But he also plays baseball too. And his senior year of baseball, he got ripped away from him because with his high school rules, he couldn't participate with baseball until his bowling was completely done. So he kind of got both ripped away right at the same time, and I feel for him on that. And his brother is a junior right behind him, so Tristan, he's hilarious. He's just the goofball of the family, and he will get under your skin like no other and make you want to rip his head off at all times. But then he'll crack a joke then right afterwards and make you laugh until you want to pee your pants. And they're such good brothers to one another and such great supporters of what I do. And I'm always there for them, like, the latest and greatest. What do you need? You need new shoes, you need new ball, like, what is it? What do we got to do? What's going on with your game type thing? And so I got it. Don't worry. We'll do this. I'm good, and it's just funny to see their own little characters and how they're just growing into the people that they're growing into. And then the next one is Joey. He's a baseball player. He is eat, sleep, breathe, everything baseball. The kid's crazy enough that he played basketball just for conditioning. So he's crazy, but he's the next one. Him and Tristan are trying to look into what colleges they want to go to. And, they have a bunch of colleges reaching out to them right now. And we're lucky enough that we have a park that they have all 28 acres to do whatever they want to do baseball related. So they're always down at the park hitting balls, playing catch, whatever it may be, working on their craft. And then my youngest is Ben, and he's my brothers and my nephews are trying to get him to play baseball, but he's more of a football player, so which takes after his older brother Justin. So not sure where he's going to head out to, but at one point all of the family bowled at one point. So
Wow.
they all understand what it means to me. Yeah. Even my brothers and sisters and sister-in-laws. So, and parents. So, I mean, bowling has definitely been not something that brought us together as a family, but they always knew like how important it was for me and what it's allowed me to do and all the experiences that I've been able to do. And I think they're seeing that as well for their kids too, not just scholarship wise, but the people that they get to meet and the friendships that they now have at all different schools, and just the recognition and the reputation that they're getting now for themselves of who they are as a person and a player. And it's nothing but good things. So I'm excited to see where they go, but they've always supported me and they've always been there for me. And I have to remember in the back of my head that, I have to be that role model to them too, of how far they can go, what they can do, and have unlimited possibilities of where they can end up at. So that's always in the back of my mind, and making sure that that's, what they're seeing is the real thing, basically.
That is excellent. All amazing. I look forward to also kind of following along the progress through you, of course, as well. I love to hear great family stories like that. And obviously the next generation of youth players, whether they bowl or play baseball or play football, it's just fun to kind of keep an eye on young athletes in that regard. Final question coming up, unless you got something else, Aaron Smith.
No, I think we're ready for the closing question here on the podcast. So, in these quarantine times, what is the Elysia current binge watch recommendations? If you got some favorites.
Ooh. Little Fires Everywhere. That's on Hulu with Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington. Definitely good.
Oh, okay.
But you can't binge it unless you hold out. Yeah.
Saw the trailer
All
for that.
American, really
Oh,
good. Yeah, super good. Super good. The main actor is British. Didn't know that till a couple weeks ago. He puts on such a good. I don't know how he does his accent, but he does it. What else we got? I've watched everything and anything so far. What else did I watch? Outer Banks. I don't know if you saw that on Netflix at all. That's pretty good. Waco. Ozark, obviously. I watched all of Ozark in like 2.5 days, so that was a grind. That was the hardest thing I did, I think, so far. Travis made me do it. He's like, you have to watch it so we can watch the third season. So I said, all right, I'll do that. Oh my goodness, what else have we been watching? The Innocence Files, that's pretty good on Netflix. There's so much stuff out there. I just look for the top 10 every day just to see what it is on Netflix. And
that's probably a good idea, since they came up with that way to do that playlist. It's like, it makes it kind of easy for you.
It does. It makes it super easy, and you get to see a lot of random stuff. I don't know. My guilty pleasure when I want to get out of my own head and out of my own reality is I'll watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Travis hates it, but I'll sit there and I'll just watch it, and it makes me forget about anything bad that's happening, and I can just sit and laugh, or just take myself away from everything for a little bit. And I think that's important to do too, especially during this time. And so yeah, that's kind of my outlet.
How
I
about
think
that?
that's an important show in the repertoire, though, is to have something where you can just sit back and kind of watch it and enjoy it. But at the same time, it's probably something you've seen once or twice before, so you can kind of go back and forth with it, and kind of it just kind of takes care of you for a while. That's I think we all got a few shows like that.
Oh,
So
it does.
Amazing.
It's good for your mental health too, and it's always been my guilty pleasure. I think since I can't even tell you how many years now, and whatever, it helps me.
Amazing. Any final thoughts, Aaron?
no, I think another great addition to the podcast here. Elysia, thanks for talking to us on all these subjects. Obviously, getting to relive some of the first event back in 2015 was very cool for us, and we definitely appreciate the time, the insight to the family. So I'll let Emil take it away, but thanks again.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, you know what? Before I go, I know that was a de facto last question, but I just need to know, is Chipotle still at the top of your food restaurant chain list?
Yes. And
Okay.
The bad thing is that where I live, I live in the worst part ever, because I have Chipotle right in front of me, Starbucks right in front of me, Jersey Mike's right in front of me.
Mm.
I have shopping at Kohl's right in front of me. So, yeah, it's been difficult. So, I haven't had Chipotle though for like a month. So I've weaned myself off of Chipotle and Starbucks now. So I think I just had my first Starbucks drink since February, yesterday. So we're saving some money there too.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate your time, E. Thank you. Again, best of luck with everything coming up in the future. Hope to see you obviously soon in competition. And thanks for sharing a lot of the insight and stories also with the fans of the PWBA.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys having me. And I hope I get to see all of you soon. All of our supporters, I hope we get to see you out there soon. If not, we'll be back stronger and better next year, and just get ready for a fun time.
Indeed. That was episode 8, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, E, where can they follow you on social media?
I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All is everything at Elysia Current. Nothing special, just my name. So that's where I'm at.
Perfect. All right, go follow E, and we'll keep an eye on everything else, of course. So for Aaron Smith, for Elysia Current, my name is Emil Williams Jr. We'll see you next time on the PWBA podcast. This has been episode 8 right here on Bold TV and wherever you get your podcast from. Thanks.